render. I'm approaching the event horizon of having been a Touhou fan for most of my life, which is a little bit weird to think about. But we'll get going. It looks like everyone's found somewhere to sit. So we'll start off nice and simple since this is an intro, and I've gotten the question before. Is it an anime? Is it a manga? What is Touhou anyways? Touhou Project is a series of bullet hell games developed by Team Alice Shanghai. They're top-down 2D shoot-em-ups. They're set up as 6 stages plus a bonus stage once you clear the game with 4 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and lunatic. I don't know if that last difficulty gives you a sense for how hard some of these games are, but that's what they're most well known for. This is Zun, the creator of the games. When I say Team Shanghai Alice, it is mostly just this guy. He mainly made them as a way to get his music out, the epitome of your album comes with a free video game attached. But he's continued on. He has released some individual original music CDs with Touhou rearranges sprinkled in, but mostly he's known for Touhou Project. It's very cool. He has been very lax with the copyright on Touhou, which means people can make fan works and sell them for profit, and he's fine with it. You don't have to check in, so there's a bunch of fan games, a bunch of fan arranges of the music. It's part of why it got so popular, because there were no limits. So I see someone's got their hand up back there. Are you all right?
Wasn't it like you had to ask Zoom for permission in order to make your fan game like before? Or am I misremembering?
It may have changed, but most of the time Zoom is like, there's not really anything that you're not allowed to do in terms of fan works. So Touhou Project is generally split up into about 3 eras. Games 1 to 5 are the PC-98. They were made obviously for the PC-98 system and are not super easy to play in the modern day since you have to get an emulator for that. And who has time to do that? We want to focus on Touhou, not on playing around with our computers. There's a bit of debate on when it goes from early to modern Windows era. I'd say probably around like 11 to 13 is when it shifts. The only real difference is just the graphics step up and Zoom gaining more experience as a game creator. And of course, the characters. All of the characters in Touhou Project, for the most part, are based off of mythological creatures. As you can see, they're not exclusive to Japanese mythology. There's Sicario, based off of a werewolf, Cain, based off of a Hakutaku from Chinese mythology, but Seija and Nue are both based off of an Amanojaku and Nue, respectively, from Japanese mythology. There's a lot of deep cut references he sneaks into the lore, but on the surface level, a lot of them are, this is a yokai, but she's an adorable girl in a frilly dress. But there is actually lore beyond hard bullet hell game cute girls. So Touhou Project takes place in Gensokyo, which literally translates to land of fantasy. How it functions is that mythological beings, including gods, if they lose enough faith, will stop existing if people don't believe that they exist. So Gensokyo exists on a slightly different level of reality as the rest of the world, and that is where all fantastical beings go so that they don't vanish entirely. They have a little human village there so that everyone stays terrified of them. Sometimes they eat them. Don't worry about the ethics of it. There is also the moon that you go to on occasion, and a few different hells. They reference a few of the Buddhist hells, but all of the game's individual stories are rather self-contained. If I were to go over all of them, that would be a whole panel on its own. And in Gensokyo, because you have both humans and gods, there are spell card rules to keep things fair. So how they work is you can't be trying to kill someone on purpose, it's considered quite rude, and your spell cards have to be beautiful and have meaning behind them. So Renru, she's playable in every game. I wouldn't say there's exactly a protagonist, but she's pretty easy to point to and say she's the protagonist. She's a very good example of following the rules. Her spell cards aren't meant to kill people. Their patterns are very beautiful. They represent her as a shrine maiden. Junko from Touhou 15, on the other hand, is straight up trying to kill you. She does not care about the rules, which is very impolite, but she has bigger concerns. And Mai Tereda and Satono Nishida from Touhou 16, technically they follow the rules because they're not trying to kill you. Their danmaku is quite pretty. It is representative of them as servants of Okinamatara, but they fight you 2-on-1, which is bad sportsmanship and not allowed. If you break the spell card rules too much, there's a whole game called Impossible Spell Card, which is dedicated to hunting down someone, throwing the spell card rules out the window, and just straight up trying to kill them via impossible bullet patterns. Now, it's not technically lore, but it's a very critical part of Touhou as something in the fandom. Renru's Gohei keeps getting bigger each game. I don't know why. The progression from 6 to 9 is bad enough. 9 to 16, 16 to 19. That thing's a polearm. It's a weapon, and you're not allowed to kill people in spell card duels. So I don't know why she has that. But she does. Oh well. But how can you play these games if you want to subject yourself to that kind of torturous difficulty? In the olden days, you used to have to get your hands on a physical disc and then set your computer's locale to Japanese, maybe adjust your DirectX settings, all kinds of nonsense. But in the modern day, you can just buy them on Steam. Isn't technology amazing? I didn't anticipate applause there. You guys keep me on my toes. Thank you. There used to be an issue with the search bar in Steam where you could only look them up by their Japanese name, but in the middle of making this, that seems to have been fixed. So you can either look up their Japanese title, which is composed of 3 kanji. They kind of mean nonsense put together, but they're symbolic of the game. Or you can just search up their English title, which is a little bit easier. If you try looking up Touhou Project, because of the aforementioned lax IP security, there's a million billion fan games. You will find nothing but fan games. So if you want to find the official games, you can also look up Mediascape to find the publisher page and just scroll through all of the official Touhou games that they have on Steam. They've also got a bunch of the in-between bullet hell ones like Violet Detector, which is 16.5. I know it's a decimal point, but it's still considered mainline. I don't question the numbering. Now, some games are not available on Steam. As I mentioned before, there are games developed for the PC-98 operating systems. You will need to get an emulator for those, and you will have to find the discs for them. Good luck with that. They're basically abandonware. They are a little bit different, the earlier ones, since while Touhou was first being created, they had to kind of figure out their formula. I see another hand up.
If I may interject, I'm not sure if it's still around because you keep popping in and out. The Moria Shrine, the website, will actually let you still pay them with patches for English. So you can still access them without needing an emulator and both other packages.
I do not know what Aikon's policy is for legality, so I'm trying to nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We'll have some solutions later, but I appreciate the call out. But I'm trying to keep things legal and airtight so that I can do panels again here. I see another hand up.
Recently, have you tried to fix that? Because your imaginable remake of Touhou 6?
Okay, I'm gonna stop taking questions because I'm doing some comedy bits and everyone is super on the ball, so my comedy bits are not landing. I will finish this slide and we'll get right back to you. So, yes, Touhou 6 and 8. Zoom famously lost the source code for these, which is why they're not on Steam. You would have to get the physical disc, change your locale to Japanese, do all of that good stuff. But the day after I finished this presentation, the day after I made that slide, I went on YouTube, checked the Japanese Nintendo Direct, and they're making a Touhou 6 remaster. It'll be releasing on Steam, Nintendo Switch, and PS5, so play however you want. It's got, I believe, 10 official alternate translations, which is very exciting. First time that's happened in a proper mainline game. It also comes with a classic mode where you'll be able to play a recreated version of the original Touhou 6. So if you're interested, I'd say this is a good place to start. It's very accessible, and we should probably support it so that they do the same for 7 and 8. You guys keep catching me off guard with the applause. Now, there are official fighting games. These ones do have English translations, one of them. But the fighting games are a collaboration between Twilight Frontier, or Tazogare Frontier, and Team Shanghai Alice. Twilight Frontier started out making Touhou fan games, but obviously making a fighting game is very different from making a bullet hell, so they decided to team up to make a bunch. Most of them, again, are disc only, unless, you know, wink wink, nudge nudge, you can find them somewhere, it's the internet. But 14.5 and 15.5 are on Steam. 15.5 is the one with the English translation, so if you don't want to play around with figuring out the patching, you might want to start on that one. The fighting games do incorporate some bullet hell elements into them. Even without the bullet hell elements, there are some very interesting mechanics, such as Koishi, who does not do special moves immediately, but starts thinking about them, and then will do them when a criteria has been fulfilled. She's just silly like that. Now, the 6 remake is on console, but we do have some console options. Technically, Sunken Fossil World isn't a fighting game, but it's one of the 0.5 decimal games. Even the creators don't really know what to class it as. It's kind of bullet hell, platformer, fighting game combination. It does have an English translation. You can get it on the Switch, you can't get it on the PlayStation. Sorry, PlayStation folks, I know you're suffering enough already with the digital-only releases. For the actual full fighting games, we do have some PlayStation options. 14.5, you're gonna have to search around for a disc. Again, I know, Zune is a champion of physical media. Again, sorry, PlayStation folks. And 15.5 does also have a Switch release. It is digital only, so we're all in this together, don't worry. For the games that don't have English translations, how could you possibly read the story? I mean, unless all of us here are bilingual and speak it fluently. I think we did have someone who raised their hand and called out one of these solutions earlier. But we do have 2 options. On the Touhou wiki, they have translated story scenarios. If you go to the page for a specific game and scroll down, you'll be able to find them and read through them. Or again, the second option is you can use the Touhou Patch Center to patch in a translation to your games. They do not only have English, I believe they also have a good chunk of their games translated into French, and they have a bunch of other languages as well, so you can pick your poison, whatever your preference. They also have some joke translations. Considering how long this has been running, I don't know how good taste some of them are, so be cautioned. But playing the game, patching the game to read the story will only help you so much. If you have a skill issue, well, what are you supposed to do? Again, you can always read the story scenarios so you'll know what's going on. Much less stressful. You'll probably remember it better if you're not sweating bullets trying to not lose your last life and kill your 1cc. There are also stories in those CDs that I mentioned. Zun makes original arrangements and some refined rearranges of songs from the games, and there are little bits of story that accompany them. If you go to the page on the Touhou wiki for the CD, you will be able to see the translations of those. I would recommend, regardless, listening to them because all of Zun's music is really good. It's the reason he started making the games after all. And the stories do connect into Touhou. This is another one of those things where some of the references are a bit deep cut, and he keeps dodging questions about if Maribel Hearn is Yukari Yakumo. I know what she is, you can't hide it. For other readable extras, there's official Touhou manga. Zun has written the story scenarios for these, so they are canon, unlike the many, many, many Touhou doujinshi that are out there, because again, lacks IP rules. You can write whatever you want. There's pretty much only girls in the series. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Unfortunately, Forbidden Scrollery and Lotus Eaters are the only two to have received licensed English translations. You should be able to get them both off of Zen Press, but there are a bunch of others, such as Silent Sinner in Blue, Three Fairies, or The Nature Fairies, whichever translation you would like to use. Again, wink wink, nudge nudge, you can find an English translation somewhere. It's the internet. And we don't have any more readables, but if you're having trouble with the games, there is one final option for you to keep experiencing Touhou. Wow, hat trick with the applause, nailing it. You always have the option of getting good. Again, these games are known for their difficulty. There is no shame in playing on easy mode. If anyone tries to make you feel bad, whatever, that's their problem. Ignore all the easy mode jokes. I wouldn't say there's any good one specific game to start with. In my personal opinion, 13 and 19 are not too tricky, they're pretty forgiving. Don't start with 11. I did that, it's widely... They're trying to silence me. They can't have me talk. With Touhou 11, it is widely considered as one of the hardest ones. It was one of my first games, my mistake for not doing my research, great trial by fire. I'm gonna say something that might be controversial to the people who are familiar with Touhou in here. I think Touhou 15 isn't that bad of a starting point. It is the only game in the series to have a checkpoint system. If that gives you any indication of just how hard it is, that Zun realized, I should probably give them somewhere to start back from. There is, of course, the option to play without checkpoints if you have that much time in your life and good enough hand-eye coordination. I played through it on Point Device, which is the checkpoint version. We have another hand.
Does it suffer Gradius syndrome?
I am not familiar with what that is. I am a puppet. Sorry.
Gradius, you collect power-ups, but when you die, you go back to a checkpoint, but without any power-ups, and it takes an hour to get them back, so you just die at the checkpoint.
Oh, it's been a while since I played, but I believe when you have to restart a checkpoint, you start like exactly back where you were.
Power-ups off.
I might. Well, you start with like your lives and your bombs, but you probably lose your power. Every single time in Touhou, when you die, you lose a bunch of your shot power, which means you have to survive for longer against the bosses. I'm seeing more hands.
Just to add to the restart, most Touhou mainline games, if you need to use a continue for any reason to restart, you come back to the start or where you were at that point, and they replenish you to full power usually. I'm not sure about 15 though.
15 in the normal game does have that mechanic, but you get a bad ending if you do not 1cc the games. So using a continue, unfortunately it's not considered as progressing through the game. So while you can use it to brute force your way through, it's not exactly what was intended by the developer. But back to Touhou 15, it is a bit of a trial by fire, but it does really teach you how to see the openings in Danmaku. So if you know yourself well enough that you won't rage bait and throw your, oh my god, sorry, way too close. You won't throw your mouse or controller or keyboard into your screen, I don't think Touhou 15 is a bad starting point. Controversial take, I know. That was my first game that I beat, so maybe I'm just biased. So, more resources, because just saying get good is kind of mean, and I did say ignore the easy mode jokes, never feel bad if you can't beat the games. You do have a skill issue, but you shouldn't feel bad about it. If you do want to get better though, there are some YouTube channels. I do find that it helps seeing someone else navigate the Danmaku. Sometimes there's weird little openings that you wouldn't have noticed because you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm dead. I believe in Touhou 6, you can choose one of Chirno's spell cards by just going up behind her, and none of her bullets go behind her. So you could just sit there and chill out till it times out. So there's lots of little things like that. For YouTube channels, Jamers posts just straight playthroughs, no commentary, no nothing. I do also really appreciate he let me use some screenshots from his videos in this. He's a very cool guy. Mega Man Omega, very similar, but he does have little text boxes that will pop up with commentary. Some of it's color commentary, some of it is gameplay tips, such as little dodge points that you can go to, or just little things that make your life a bit easier, like general tips, you know? Stay near the bottom of the screen, because if you're up top, there's too much stuff going on there. It'll spread out when you get closer to the bottom. A little bit less gameplay advice. Megapig 901 does sort of keep a finger on the pulse of the Touhou community. So if you're interested in playing Touhou fan games, they post a lot about them. They also post about meta and predictions for upcoming games. For Touhou 19, they had a whole video predicting who was going to appear. I'm sorry, Mima Copers, it was never gonna happen. They've been trying to get her to come back from the PC 98 era. It's not happening. That's a whole separate canon. No Mima, I'm sorry guys. But if you are looking for fan games, I believe the other two also play a lot of fan games. A good chunk of Touhou fan games are bullet hell as well, same formula, 6 stages, extra bonus stage once you beat the game. But there's a lot that are just totally in another direction, like Mystia's Izakaya, where it's a restaurant sim, but it's cute, it's Touhou, so we love it. For websites, resources, we have Touhou Wiki, which is the one with Alice. I have referenced it a few times throughout. It's a really great resource. It's got story summaries, it's got a bunch of translations, it's got the lists of all of the official works, including all of the print works, so the manga, and all of the CD works, so those ones I was talking about where it's rearranges that are refined and original arranges with stories that occur in the Touhou universe. So, whole list right there for you to figure out where you want to start. And Mori Shrine, I believe that was also called out. They are a Touhou forum. They've been around for a while. I think they're still decently active, but if you're having any trouble with installing your patches or getting your games to run, if you're one of the lunatics that got a physical disc, like me, Someone else has almost certainly had your problem in the last 15 years, so you should be able to find something, and if not, you can always make a post and see if someone magically appears. For official resources, there is Touhou Yomoyama News. They post about updates for games coming out, demos coming out, but more importantly, fan events that are occurring, and everyone's favorite, merch releases. That's how you can figure out your timing for getting those FUMOs. And then we have Zun's Twitter. He does have some other socials. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter, even though I know it's not called that anymore. They don't let me see what he posts, because I don't have an account, but it's mostly official announcements. Thank you for the validation. I'm continuing to call it Twitter. I appreciate it. Now, speaking of the events that Yomoyama News talks about, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the, I guess, motto of the Raised Taisai group. They organize the biggest Touhou Dojin convention in Japan. They do it twice a year. And they also do concerts for all of the bands that do rearrangements of Zun's music. Once again, very chill on the IP. The music is a big selling point. I was actually lucky enough to go to one last November, and to get us hyped up before each set, the MCs had us all do call and response of the Japanese translation of it, which is tsunagu, tsunageru, Touhou. And if you're wondering why the English is only 2 words, in the Japanese, it's basically connecting, connected, Touhou. So it's easier to just say Touhou Connect. Because really, that's what we're doing right now. We've got a bunch of people in the room, we're all united by Touhou. Isn't that awesome? It's the whole point of the con, too. So, I'm sure you can sense where this is going, because I have the words big and up on the screen, and they've given me a microphone, those fools. So, if everyone is willing, I would like to do the same call and response to get us all hyped up about being here and connected by Touhou. So, we'll do a practice run so we can get the timing right, but the MC starts with tsunagu. The audience will go tsunageru, and then everyone together goes Touhou. So shall we practice?
Yeah!
All right, you ready? Tsunagu.
Tsunageru.
Touhou. All right, we'll do it for real. That was our warm-up. We're doing it for realsies now.
We do it louder.
We should do it louder, with all of your spirit. All right, we ready? Se no, tsunagu.
Tsunagura.
Touhou. No applause this time? Thank you everyone so much for coming out. All of the channels and the websites that I mentioned here have been listed on this QR code. It should work. Let me know if you're having any trouble though. We're good? Well, I'll leave it up. Everyone do it at your leisure, but I got a thumbs up that it seems to be working. All right, if anyone has any more questions, any hand raises they want to do, I have no more bits for people to interrupt. All right, I'm seeing a hand back there.
I thought the thing was, with most Touhou games, you get basically the full story if you beat the game minimum on normal difficulty. You got the good ending that way.
Yes, especially in Touhou 6, they don't even let you at the final boss if you're on easy mode, so 1cc on normal, I believe, is the clear condition for
Is normal
good
itself
ending.
already that crazy?
What?
Is normal itself already that crazy?
So, normal in which game?
Basically, on average in any of them.
It's definitely a step up from easy. I'd say if you want to play on normal and get a good ending on your first go around, disregard what I said about Touhou 15. Don't start with that one if you're going for normal 1cc clear. I'd say again, yeah, like 13 and 19, I personally found them to be much easier. So if you want to go all in normal for your first try, do one of those. We've got another hand back there with the ears.
Why didn't you mention the music?
I did, I talked about the CDs, and that Zun made them to get his music out. Lock in, bro. Got a hand up here.
You've spoken about good and bad endings. I'm not familiar with the games. Are there any other endings or branching paths in the games?
Ooh, technically there are. The clear fulfillment for a good ending is, again, 1 CC clear, normal or higher. Bad ending is basically just, oh, you didn't do the thing, whatever. The good ending you get does depend on the shot type that you pick in, I believe, most of the games. But that might be only 8, that might be only 9. There's a lot of games, but the shot type can play a role, but overall the ending is the same. It's just a quick little gag to be like, you did it, you saved the day, you beat him up.
You shot him up.
You shot him up, exactly. But you didn't kill him, because that's against the rules. We've got a hand over here.
I think to add to that point for the branching stories, every game has character selection, and the dialogue of the game changes based on which character you play through with as well.
That is true, that is true. I did not specifically point that out, but again, on the Touhou wiki, they do have sort of the lists for every character and for all the extra scenarios. I believe also in Touhou 17, depending on what shot type, animal, spirit, companion you pick, you do have different dialogue once again. So lots of different dialogue trees, which is why even if you do patch the games, it's nice to have the Touhou wiki to refer back to. We've got a hand back there with the hat.
What's your opinion of highly responsive to prayers?
No comment. You're found next in the white and black t-shirt.
Hello. What does our local community have for like a group chat or Discord for Touhou? Do we have a local group chat for this kind of stuff? Or?
In Winnipeg, I haven't seen one, but I met a bunch of people yesterday. We're discussing getting something going, so keep an eye out, definitely keep an eye out. You in the back with the black hair, hello.
How many of the games have you worked on that I typically have?
So, the skill issue slide may have been partially autobiographical. No, I've gotten 19, I've gotten 13. Technically, I beat 15 on point device, but don't ask me how many times I had to do Junko's last spell card.
Yeah.
It stops the counter at 99. 99 plus just kind of hurts the soul. I don't know if anyone's familiar with DMC. It's like having easy mode is selectable pop-ups. 99 plus attempts. Right, do we have? We've got something in the back again.
What's your top 5 Touhou characters?
Top 5. You're gonna make me only pick 5? There's over 100.
Yeah.
Dude. Yukari Akumo, Junko, Fujiwara Moko, Mizuchi Miyadeguchi, because I have to be niche.
Raymond?
No, Reimu's too basic. Blue Reimu from Lost Word. No, I'm kidding. No, I like Konishi. I know it's a basic pick, but she's funny. And then we had one last one over here.
Can I add insult to injury about an extra stage being mentioned after you 1 CC the game?
Yes.
Yes. Did you do extra?
No. Listen, I value my sanity, and the first extra stage I unlocked was 15, which is Acacia Lapis Lazuli. She doesn't make the top 5 just because I have personal beef with that one. Her theme's a banger though. All of the music is really good. So even if you don't check out the CDs, you should check out the soundtrack. That's another thing you can do if you have a skill issue, or you could just listen to it in the game. So get good. Oh, we've got one more, and I'll get to you after
How historic level was the Ronald McDonald Insanity remix?
The Ran Ran Roo?
Yes.
They did an official collaboration. It wasn't Ran Ran Roo, but it was Marisa Stole the Precious Thing. So I don't know if you've seen that, but they know. They've collaborated with Touhou. And then you had a question back there? I don't personally use Spotify, but I'm hearing some yeses. Unfortunately, I am a SoundCloud person. I know you can boo me if you want. Oh, there we go! I thought I was gonna get booed. This is awesome. I'm not seeing any more hands though. Oh, okay, here we go.
I think besides Touhou Connect, there are also other events, no? Around the world.
Sorry, which?
Well, you mentioned that Touhou Connect is an event that people can connect and meet each other in Japan, right?
Yes, Touhou Connect is very specifically from the Reitaisai group. They organize the Hakura Jinja Reitaisai, so that is their thing. But there are fan conventions and events all over the world. I know the US does Touhou Fest, but who's gonna go to the US right now? That's so scary. Oh no, that's too scary. Even for Touhou, I wouldn't do it. But all around the world, I know that there's some in Europe. There's probably some in the parts of Canada that are real. Winnipeg doesn't exist. Manitoba doesn't exist. Saskatchewan doesn't exist. It's just Vancouver and Toronto. I'm sorry. We're all a fantasy. Winnipeg and Tokyo confirmed. Alright, I'm not gonna say I'm not seeing any more hands because someone's gonna surprise me. So, last call for questions. Alright, well thank you again everyone for coming out. Let me know if you haven't gotten the QR code. I'll be hanging out here while I tidy up. But I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something, even if you do know about Touhou Project. And again, I know I spoke a lot about the discs, but wink wink nudge nudge, you know?